Let me tell you the obvious. Let me tell you why pornography is so prevalent in our society, so lucrative, so much indulged in. Why 80% of, is it persons or is it just men? I'm not sure. I try not to distinguish. Will refer to something pornographic at least once a month. And much of the population indulges in it greatly. That it is what funded the internet and its development. It is what's funded prostitution, the oldest profession on earth. The answer is very simple. It's the fact that our society does not allow most of its citizens to be fulfilled with the needs they have in more officially acceptable ways. The society does not meet their need for company, fellowship, appreciation, success and fulfillment. So they take what is available. Mankind, and I include women in this, take what is available. It could be drink, it could be smoking, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, but more than anything else, it's pornography. Because it is a pleasure that is extremely cheaply provided, and in fantasy meets their longing. You may have noticed that women tend to find much fellowship and fulfillment just in each other's company, chatting away endlessly, and that men do not do this with other men. Men are far less communicative for whatever reason. They are more isolated, more lonely, more unable to somehow express their needs and their problems. Less fluent in solving these problems by fellowship with each other and chatting away like women do. In the nurturing sense, they seem to be in our society less nurturing than women. Capable, teamwork, yes, but not able to talk through with each other really the solution to their needs. So they settle for, I don't know, sport, game of darts, a beer or two with each other. Don't be appalled at pornography. Be appalled at your society for not being able to meet the needs of its citizens. What should we do about it then? What needs to be changed in society? What could we encourage? You may say, oh, well, I'm only one individual, it's not going to make much difference what I do. Well, I found that not to be the case. I've been vegetarian since I was 24, and I've influenced an extraordinary number of people, and you can't imagine the number of creatures that I would have consumed in that time. I'm now 74, so, what do you call it, half a century. I had an experiment, a very good experiment. I, on my own, without using any of my professional skills, training or intellect, I collected for an animal charity outside supermarkets, and in 3 years, at an average of 1.5 days a week, I collected over $100,000 and amazed the administration of the society that I collected it for. I never once asked for money. I just sat there with all the paraphernalia and the posters, of course, around me, and holding a tub for people to put money in if they so wanted to. And I smiled, of course, and said hello to anybody. Very friendly, but never asked. One person can do a lot with no skills, just being one person. So I can tell you the answer very simply. Love one another. Be caring. Listen to people. Try to bless them. Do what you can to bless. Don't impoverish yourself. Don't exhaust yourself. Don't endanger yourself. God doesn't want you to do that. He's a loving Heavenly Father. He does not want you to do that which harms you. He wants you to do that which blesses you and those around you. Do that. Don't shake your head in dismay that something like, I don't know, so many people take advantage of something like pornography or drugs or drink or smoking or gambling or whatever it is, kids watching television or playing games all the time, computer games. Simply love and care for those around you. And you, in the course of the year after years after years, will have a tremendous effect in total on the world, on your society, and be a blessing. That's the opportunity you have. If you embrace it, you will find God does a greater thing in you than through you. And I mean quite simply too, that you will be more blessed even than the people you bless. And He will make you a blessing. He will delight in you doing it. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Just add a note here. I remembered that one of the addictions that I majorly missed out is eating. That's an older addiction perhaps than any other, but particularly prevalent in a modern commercial world where someone else's prosperity and success turns on selling a product that's addictive, like much of our food is. And it's far more serious, I think, than any of the other addictions so classically referred to. It's killed more people. It's killed more people in the sense of they die much younger than they need. It wrecks the life of them whilst they're still alive. It brings unhappiness. It makes people feel unlovable and unloved. And, well, it's just an utter tragedy. Pause on that for a moment. Well, in passing, I would say the very simple, obvious thing is when you're really busy, you forget about eating. You're just busy. And when you're having terrific fun and happiness, again, eating is not something that particularly preoccupies your mind at all. We fall into all addictions because of unhappiness, the unsuccessful situation that we find ourselves in. And we turn to classical addictions because of seeking some consolation. Ideally, a person's addiction should call forth in us compassion, no question of it. And no less so with the eating addiction, which is blazoned for everyone to see. It just can't be hidden, can it? The only way it can be hidden is by hiding away. And that's a tragedy too. A simple solution to overweight is, for instance, the Dr. Dadamo diet of right blood groups. I think it's called right diet, I'm not sure, yeah. And same food for different people in the same family can have quite different consequences as regards their vitality and health and weight. And it's as well to know which foods you should be avoiding. The hard way of solving a weight problem is hard diet. To stop eating, basically, in large measure. But that's very demanding. Whereas to adjust the diet so that you don't eat the things that trigger the body to put on weight, much easier. So you would do well to look out Dadamo, right diet, right blood group for your type, right foods for your blood group, something like that. But it's Dr. Dadamo. Very helpful. I have a much more drastic solution, which is simply move towards being more fruitarian. And fruitarian, perhaps, for as long as you need in the shorter run. You can eat as much fruit as you like. Don't cook it. You can't add sugar. No cooking. Don't eat fruit or juice that has been heated, which almost everything from the shop has been, because I think there's some legal requirement to keep infections and bugs down. But simply the fruit diet, and you'll be flying. You'll be so happy, so lifted spiritually. It does wonders. There are some fruits that even a B blood group should not eat. I avoid, what do I avoid? Well, tomatoes, of course. But also persimmon and, I don't know, I've never eaten prickly pear. I'm not sure what it would taste like. And I think pumpkin may be in the same category too. Best to avoid. Check it out though, you can do it much more thoroughly, done very easily, and you can eat as much fruit as you like. So you don't get hungry on the diet. I'm not suggesting you don't miss the food that you're used to. You do. But if you have a great need, then you will have a great will. And you'll be so blessed. Bless you. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, Dad. Well, I began this recording by claiming that society doesn't meet the
fairly obvious needs of its citizens in large measure. And I think if you check out the proportion of men that, for instance, never have a meaningful relationship with a woman in their life is extraordinarily high. I understand it's well over 50%. And that seems terribly sad to me. And I don't know what to say. I mean, the obvious, it means that some men, like myself, have had several relationships with different women. I mean, in my case, marriage. Except early on I did have one that wasn't formally a marriage, but it was in our intent. We were together about 4.5 years, 5 years. And such women, women generally, do have a meaningful relationship with a man in their life. Well over half of women. But it's not so with men, you see. So, for instance, I have 3 children, but my 3 wives each have only 1 child each. I'm not running 3 wives at once. In fact, I'm not running through any wives at all, especially at the minute. What a sad situation. You know, well over more than half of men over the age of, I don't know what we call middle age, 40 on, 45, feel themselves to be a failure. They're chronically depressed. This is staggering, isn't it? I mean, appallingly staggering. What an unhappy society. We seem so capable. And yet we're such a disaster in this way. I mean, it's pretty fundamental, isn't it? In terms of happiness and well-being. We are frighteningly aware in the 21st century of isolation, aren't we? Individuals isolated, yes, but even families. Just not getting enough support to hold together and be encouraged and, well, quite honestly, be good to each other. They can't manage it. Demands on them too much. And we have relationship breakups all over the place. We should have passed the age of condemnation for such burdens and replaced it with compassion. And in some considerable measure we have. It's just that we don't know in general what to do about it. You see, we need wisdom. Or quite simply, we need the understanding of the love of God to touch our hearts, whether we recognize that love to be of God or not. My goodness, do we need it? Pursue loving kindness. You'll find that comes spontaneously to you if you also pursue or simply pursue gratitude, thankfulness. If you just can't in your heart visualize God, well, visualize higher power, whatever you like to call it. But visualize gratitude. Be thankful to nature, if you like. Be thankful to the universe. I don't really care. And God doesn't mind either. Because all the roads lead to Rome. That's why. That is where your true happiness and fulfillment lies. In being benevolent and caring to all life around you. You'll find that takes care of the rest. You'll find a lovelier thing has been achieved in you. He does a greater thing in you than through you. And even if you don't know God, don't wish to know God, but you do wish to bless and rescue all you meet, well, you'll be overwhelmed with fulfillment and happiness and joy and peace. You will know God, even if you don't realize it. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, Dad.